Well, let's talk about Arlen Specter, the citizen Specter. How did you vote in 2008? Did you vote for Obama or did you vote for the other guy, for McCain?
I voted for McCain.
Okay, who'd you vote for? In 2004, you've now got a character endorsement from Senator Kerry. I'm impressed by that. He's swearing to your character right now in a statement yesterday. How'd you vote in 2004?
Listen, when I was trying to reform and moderate the Republican Party, I was supporting Republicans, trying to bring them back to the center. And when that schism broke, I returned to my roots. I had started off as a Democrat. I voted for Adlai Stevenson. I voted for him twice. Voted for John F. Kennedy, if you want to go over my voting record.
Right. But starting in '68, it was Nixon all the way, and it was Reagan, and it was Bush, and it was against all the Democrats like Al Gore and John Kerry and Dukakis and Clinton. You voted against a whole mess of Democrats. Did you vote against Eddie Rendell all those years too? I mean, you're a Republican for 45 years.
No, I always supported Ed Rendell, gave him his first job out of law school.
I know, but did you vote for him?
I voted for him, absolutely.
Did you?
Absolutely.
You voted Democrat for governor the last couple times.
That's right. I did that because I knew him, trusted him, and thought he was a good man.
So let me ask you about this mistake you've been making. I know, you know what I do? I write 19 instead of 20 sometimes by accident because I'm not used to the 21st century yet. You seem to have this weird thing where you vote, you say Republican. Here you are in an audio last night in Pittsburgh. Let's listen.
Well, I thank the Allegheny Republican Committee for endorsing me for the Democratic nomination. Great pleasure to be endorsed by the Allegheny County Republicans, and together we'll win for victory.
Okay, you were happy to be endorsed by the Allegheny Republicans last night. Okay, it's a little mistake. People make mistakes. Here you are last month at Penn State. Let's listen to you again, Arlen Specter, Democrat, thanking the Republican Democrats. The college Republicans for their support. Here we are at Penn State last month. Let's listen.
I'm proud to have been endorsed by the college Republicans.
Well, what is this pattern of you keep thanking Republicans as if you're still a Republican, this mental mistake you keep making? It concerns Democrats that mentally your instinct is to say you're a Republican still.
You have cited 3 instances, but 853 other times I said Democrat when I meant Democrat. Look here, I misspeak every now and then. I'm not a professional communicator like Chris Matthews, so occasionally I misspeak. But listen, where are my votes? Take a look at what I voted for. Take a look at my support of a woman's right to choose, voting for the minimum wage, voting against Bohr, voting against warrantless wiretapping. Look what I did on the stimulus package. Look what I did on comprehensive health insurance. On the votes, you're in the well of the Senate, and you're thinking, and whether you say aye or nay. I haven't made any mistakes.
Okay, let me ask you a great question. Was voting for Clarence Thomas a mistake? Voting for Judge Alito? Voting for Judge Roberts? Voting for Judge Scalia? Are you happy with the way Clarence Thomas has turned out as the Supreme Court Associate Justice? Clarence Thomas, let's take that example. Are you happy with him?
I made my best judgment at the time, but I'm not going to renew those votes. I'm happy with the vote I cast against Bork. I'm happy with the vote I cast in favor of Breyer. I led the fight for Sotomayor. In this line of work, you analyze it, you make your best judgment. There's a big picture involved, and if I start looking over 10,000 votes, I'll never finish.
How about Elena Kagan for solicitor? You voted against her. Have you decided, you're very discerning in these things. You've made some mistakes. Is that a mistake?
No, she would not answer important questions. The nomination for Supreme Court is very different. You can't ask the Supreme Court nominee how they're going to vote because of judicial independence. I asked her if she was Solicitor General, what would she do with the case where the Holocaust victims were suing insurance companies? She wouldn't answer. I asked her what would she do in a case where survivors of victims of 9/11 were suing high-ranking Saudi officials and sovereign immunity did not apply. And she wouldn't answer. And that was a different situation. Listen, my political opponent wants me to come out and declare for her yes or no. Well, I don't make snap judgments before hearing the evidence, before hearing the
But let's think about an average. Let's think about an average Democrat in Pennsylvania who knows you voted for Thomas, voted for Alito, voted for Roberts, voted for Scalia, but you're still up in the air about whether to vote for Kagan. What did those four gentlemen have that you're wondering if Kagan has?
Well, in each of those cases, I attended the confirmation hearings. I asked a lot of probing questions. I talked to my colleagues, and I came to a considered judgment. And that's the way I operate on an independent basis, and I'll continue to do that. And I'm not going to make a knee-jerk reaction and respond to my political opponent in the Senate campaign because he wants to make political capital. I'm
so
not
no endorsement.
That.
You're not going to make any confirmation prediction on your vote even through next Tuesday. Right through Tuesday, you're not going to endorse Elena Kagan.
I may. I'm meeting with her tomorrow. I want to hear what she has to say. Got an open mind on it. I think that's what a senator ought to do.
Fair enough. I think you will endorse her over the weekend, but that's my prediction. It has no power over the actual event. You talked yesterday in Pittsburgh about your seniority. Do you have a deal with the Democratic leadership, such as it is right now, to restore your full seniority? Because you've really lost most of it when you switched parties.
When I talked to Senator Reid, the leader, it was on the understanding that I would have my full seniority as if elected as a Democrat in 1980, and he said we would revisit the issue after the election.
If Senator Reid is defeated out in Nevada, he's now 11 points behind Sue Loudon out there. If he doesn't get reelected, will you be guaranteed you get your seniority back if you're elected as a Democrat?
I expect to get my seniority back when reelected.
Who promised you, and who can deliver?
Well, the majority leader speaks for the caucus, and he was the person I talked to, and I relied upon that. And I still rely upon that. Listen, it's something that they try to do with some consistency to lead people to cross the aisle, and if they renege on me, who's next?
Well, has Schumer or Durbin made that same commitment? Because they may well be, either one of them could be majority leader next year.
Well, I don't ask them for commitments as majority leader when we've got a majority leader, and I have a commitment from him.
Okay. Final question. Is this your last term? I know you think ahead and you love the Senate. We all love the Senate. Oh, I do. Is this your last term, Senator? You're 80 years old. You've had 30 years behind you. Will you run again if you get elected again? Run again for another 6 years?
It is highly unlikely, but I never like to say anything with finality. When you talk about age, Joe Paterno's older than I. He's still going strong. When you talk about age, I agree with Satchel Paige. Satchel Paige, if you didn't know your age, how old would you think you were? And I choose 37, Chris.
Yeah, good for you. And by the way, there's one difference between you and Jopa. He sticks with the same team. But thank you very much, Arlen Specter of Pennsylvania. Good luck next Tuesday. I think you're going to squeak it. I predict a squeaker, a couple points. Anyway, reminder, we'll be in Philadelphia all night on I'm sorry, Senator, go ahead.
If everybody who's for me comes out to vote, I'll win.
Okay, thank you very much. I think
it's a matter of turnout, but I appreciate your.
I'm watching West Philadelphia. I'm watching Bobby Brady. I'm watching the impact of Tony Williams. I'm watching the whole thing. It's fascinating to watch. Thank you, Senator.
Well, you know Philadelphia like the back of your hand. I take a lot of heart in that, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. We'll see you on Tuesday night up in Philly. Anyway, Senator Arlen Specter running as a Democrat in the primary next Tuesday. We're going to be up there following this. There's so many hot primaries Tuesday night, and that's the hottest one, as you just heard. Coming up, anti-incumbency. Early in the show, Senator Arlen, Specter of Pennsylvania, told me that he voted for Ed Rendell for governor. He's a Democrat for governor in 2002 and 2006. Well, while Specter may have secretly voted for the Democrat Rendell, and he probably did, in 2006 he publicly supported the campaign of Rendell's opponent, Lynn Swan. Check out this from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette in 2006. Quote, in a meeting with the Post-Gazette's editorial board, the 5-term senator, Specter, said he's supporting Mr. Swan's campaign to unseat Governor Ed Rendell. By the way, he also took a shot at Rendell's gambling proposals at that moment.